There are things that you've done, and there are things that you've done. And the Myths and Legends record. I mean, you had a performance on ice. Speaking of
Yeah.
performances, what was that?
Um, well, it was suicidal, really. It was, but basically the King Arthur album, which I wanted to, I wanted to perform it at Wembley at the Ice Arena,
Oh,
and I was told I couldn't because the ice would be frozen over at that time. This was 1975,
oh,
and because there was the ice foliage coming in, so I couldn't do it there. And that really annoyed me because I wanted to do it there a lot. So there was a big music paper at the time called Melody Maker.
right.
And after I was told I couldn't do it, I'd have to go somewhere else. I drove up to the head offices of Melody Maker where I knew them all. And the assistant editor, a guy called Chris Welch, I went and I said, "Gee, do you fancy a drink?" And he said, "Yeah." So I took him into the Red Lion pub just off of Fleet Street. And he said, "So what are you up to?" I said, "Oh, well, I'm just getting ready for the Arthur shows." And he said, "Can you tell me anything about it?" I said, "Well, look, I'll tell you what, Chris. I'll tell you, but this is completely off the record." And he went, "Okay, fine," which I knew no chance.
Yeah,
I
no
knew
chance.
whatever I told him was going to get printed. And I said, "You must keep this to yourself." He said, "Okay." I said, "I'm doing it on ice." He
Oh
said,
my.
"What?" I said, "I'm doing it on ice. I'm building a big castle in the middle of the ice. I'm getting all the championship ice skaters from Eastern Europe and around the world," as they were then. I said, "to come over and play all the parts, and I'm going to have the big orchestra in the middle, and I'm going to build a castle, and so the whole thing's going to be on ice." I said, "But for heaven's sake, keep that to yourself." 2 days later, Melody Maker came out, the headline, "Arthur on Ice."
Oh my
And,
God.
and my agent, imagine, they went nuts.
Oh,
They
that's
went,
unreal.
and there was no choice. We had to go ahead, and it was fantastic. It
Oh,
was unbelievable.
I bet they must have set it up completely stable for you. You must have been a thrill, fun.
It was just tremendous. We did 3 nights, and I'd love to do it again. I would love to do it again. And ironically, America would be the place to do it because you've got so many great ice stadiums. It would be perfect to do, but the trouble is it's not cheap to do, so I can't see anybody coming up with the money to say, "Yeah, we'll put it on for you."
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of that record, Rick, the Nottingham Festival Choir, how did that come about?
Well, they were a guy. Sadly, not one of them is alive today.
Oh,
But they were an unusual male voice choir. Who were lovely guys who I met. They were part of the English Chamber Choir who also sang, and they were a separate unit, and they had such phenomenal voices, and I was determined to get them on the record, and they were great. And they were so good. But as I say, sadly, none of them with us now. I mean, most of those guys could genuinely sing really low. They could hit low C's, which is almost unheard of. They were so good.
oh, that's
And
wonderful. Yes, they are.
yeah, it was great. They were a good bunch. They were on the concerts on ice and everything as well. I mean, there's a book to be written about King Arthur on ice.
Oh,
In
that's
fact, 2 years ago, I was called with my manager to a meeting in LA with some Hollywood producers that were very keen on making a film about the making of King Arthur on ice.
oh, how wonderful
But,
would that be?
Oh, it'd be absolutely unbelievable. Not heard anything since, but you never know. They might still come and want to do it.
Rick, is there something brewing with a possible Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of reboot or album or tour? There's been rumblings.
Well, I re-recorded both Journey and Arthur because, of course, there was a lot of missing music because back then you were limited to what you could get onto vinyl. Like 36, 38 minutes.
Right.
So I re-recorded both of them with the missing music, which they're both well over an hour long. with all the missing music. And in fact, just about 3-4 weeks ago, I did 2 nights at the Royal Festival Hall in London with the Symphony Orchestra Choir, a huge band, three singers, a narrator, and we did the new version of Journey,
Oh,
which was, it was two phenomenal nights. I mean, I would again, it was so successful. Um, it's nice to say that tickets were gold dust. You couldn't get them for love nor money, and it was really tremendous. But I would love to be able to do it again in America. We did 18 shows in America and Canada with the original in 1975,
oh,
and to bring the new version with everything over here would just be wonderful. But it's so expensive to do.
right.
That's the killer. But it would be a dream to be able to do. Even if it was just 3 or 4 shows over here of it, it would be a real dream to be able to do.